everyone. So today we are just going to go ahead and review our Form II barre chords. We looked at the major, minor, and seventh shapes. So a couple of key things here. For all of these chords, they were based off of our open A chord shape. Like if we took and got rid of the first finger barring the strings, you would have an A chord, right? And then also, our root is on the A string. So if you know your notes on your A string, it's going to make finding chords much quicker when you're using these Form II barre chords to play a song. So let's go ahead, let's start out by playing our Form II major chord. We're going to be on the 5th fret area, and then we'll kind of modify our chord from there. So, Form II major barre chord, your first finger is going to actually be muting this low E string. It's just kind of barely touching it, muting the string. So you're going to be barring across with your first finger and your third finger. Although, as we discussed in detail, your first finger is only playing the root of this chord right now. You're not really going to hear that note on the high E, which is why I kind of faded it out, unless you're playing your chord like this, right? But you really want to get the bar with the third finger for those notes, okay? So you're going to be barring with your third finger on the D, G, and B strings. Yeah. And as we talked about, this takes time, so have patience with this, right? But that is our Form II major barre chord. Because we're on the 5th fret, and that's the note D on the A string, it's a D chord. If I moved it up 2 frets, I would have an E chord. If I moved it up 1 fret, I'd have F. If I moved it up 1 fret from there, I would have F sharp. These are movable chords. So just learning these chord shapes gives you a ton of different chords to work with. You can play just about anything if you know your Form 1 and 2 barre chords, as well as your notes on your low E and A string, but you can always find those when you're learning the tune as well. So back to our Form II major barre chord. Let's go ahead, let's check out that minor chord. So to make a chord minor, we have to flat the third of the chord. The third of our chord, in this case, is on the B string. So that note has to move down 1 fret. Okay, so to do this, we're going to actually end up, now the bar becomes important with your first finger because you are going to hear this high E. Okay, you're going to put your third finger on the 7th fret of the D string. Pinky is going to go right underneath of it on the G string. And your second finger is on the 6th fret of the B string, okay? And we have that minor sound, so we have major, minor, back to major. Yeah, there we go. So there's our difference. Okay, so let's go back to the major chord, because now we're going to look at our 7th chord. And the 7th chord is essentially adding the dominant 7th note to our root 3rd and 5th of our chord. In this case, that note is right there. So once again, your first finger bar is pretty important in this case because you're going to be playing the 7th degree with your first finger. So use that side of your first finger, the hard part of your finger. You might kind of tilt your finger back, pull your elbow in to get that tilt happening, to really kind of be playing with the side of your finger as opposed to flat with the fretboard. It's tilted. Then your third finger is going to be on the 7th fret of the D string, and your pinky is on the 7th fret of the B string, okay? And your first finger's got that dominant 7th sound. That's how you get that sound. So that note is important to hear. So really getting that first finger bar happening in this chord is a big deal. Yeah, go ahead and give that a strum. Go back to major. 7th. Yeah, so that right there is a D7 chord, right? And if I moved it up 2 frets, I would have an E7th chord. And if I moved it to the 3rd fret, I would have C7. But we're going to be back to D7. All right, just a short little exercise playing between these 3 shapes. We're going to play what I played at the very beginning. I played D, D7, E minor, D. Okay, so I'll get the strum happening. Feel free to use whole notes if you'd like. D7, right? E minor. I made that an E minor 7 for a second there. E minor, back to D. Right, so feel free to do whole notes, feel free to strum along, whatever helps you. right? We're having patience learning bar chords each day, working on them a little bit as we go along, and that's how we're going to get there. So D7, E minor, D, D, D7, E minor, back to D. There we have it. So just basically this is a nice little recap over our Form II bar chords that we've been working on. Feel free to go back through and watch those individual lessons. We did the major, the minor, and the seventh chords so far. There are more that we'll get to, but we're going to kind of stick with these for a bit of time first to get good at them. So hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.